Hi, this is Heidi Mitchell here, and I'm speaking to you from the incredible splendor of the flowers that are out here on the west coast of South Africa at the moment. My husband Guy and I have been touring the country recently with my new book called My Father's Voice, and I'd love to share a clip from one of our talks with you, and the clip is from a chapter called Time is in His Hands. There's a different pulse to God's provision. And this situation, I think the world finds itself in now, where so many people have been forced into that position of what on earth do we do now? People have lost their livelihoods, they've lost their income, they've lost their businesses. It's harsh. I mean, we've been there, I know. But what came out of it was an ability to feel the pulse of the Almighty God, who provided every day for the Israelites in the desert. They never went hungry. Their shoes didn't wear out. The manna came day by day. The quail came day by day. They were never hungry. They never lacked. To find that level of intimacy and trust and provision. So if you've been shaken in your business or in your workplace, you should actually be saying thank you. Because if there's worse to come, you will be standing firm because you're just getting a bit of a shaking now. And God is forcing you to say, okay, if my income or my job falls away, how does it work? Because it's different. It's not the same as a check that comes in every month. And it took 9 months for us to find that pulse. And if you read the book, you'll read that I cried a lot. And my friends can testify, I cried a lot. It didn't go very well for a lot of the time. Not easy. But we persevered and we did it. And by the end of the 9 months, we moved into a house here on the mountainside, and we started our music school. And so a different phase began. But we never forgot those lessons, because in 2016, when God said, I want you to go full-time again, we gave up the music school in a heartbeat and said, we'll do it, because we knew how it worked. And again, put everything in, we sold what we felt we should and put some stuff in storage. And then a real level of absolute miraculous provision began. I mean, we now live on a farm in the middle of the Karoo in a 200-year-old home, and we live there with the farmer's blessing. And the guy has a huge studio where he can paint to his heart's content, and we use it as our base, and we go out from there. And when I wake up some mornings and find myself in that space, I go, is this really true? Have I really landed here? And then I have to read the book myself to remember what it took to get there. It doesn't just land in your lap. You don't just get that. You've got to learn the lessons. You've got to be willing. It's trust and courage and faith and being willing to let go of the things of this world. Because if it's forced, like a lot of people were forced now to lose some of that stuff, it's much harder than when you've been in that place with God and you're used to it and you understand. The one chapter, I don't know which number it is, it's Titus and Sayanda, Time is in His Hands. I really like that chapter as an example of the intimacy that God called me to. So this is during the time when we were living on the mountain and we had the music school, and I had marimba classes at 7:15, three mornings of the week here at the high school. Only took me a few minutes to get down there, but that alarm thing when you got to set your alarm, and I don't know, it used to really as a knop op die maag and the adrenaline, from school days when you've got to wake up at 4 o'clock to study for an exam, and you hate that feeling. You hate the alarm. I don't know if you hate an alarm. I hate the alarm. Used to hate the alarm. And then I was washing up one night, and God just said to me, what about leaving the alarm? I said, well, how will that work? He said, well, I'll wake you up. I said, okay. All right, we'll try that. So now you've got to choose to trust. It seems like a small thing. He's going to wake you up. It's just an alarm. But you understand what he's busy with. He's calling me to a level of intimacy where I'm even trusting him with time and with feeling him. He said to me, he was so poetic. He said, imagine my thoughts being the last thoughts on your mind at night and my breath waking you up on your cheek in the morning. Isn't that beautiful? That's what he wanted. So that's what I did. I went to sleep. Before I went to sleep, I said, okay, Father, what time? I think I need to wake up at 6 because I want to wash my hair. Got to do a load of laundry, discussing it all with him and all that. Okay, fine, we agree, 6 o'clock. So, but the enemy comes immediately. He says, what if he wakes you and you fall back asleep? What if he doesn't wake you at all? So I still had to choose to not set the alarm. Say no to those darts that come. They always come, no matter what. Whenever God is calling you to a deeper level, the enemy will immediately come with those thoughts of doubt. Send those arrows, because he doesn't want you in that place, because he knows amazing things will happen when you get there. So I woke up at 5:45. I said, my first thing, I said, Lord. He said, I don't like to rush. I like to just take it easy. So 5:45, he says, I like to just, breathe a little. Let's not rush the morning. So it was made me an extra 15 minutes to just get myself. And from that day on, that's now 8 years ago, I've not set an alarm since. We have had to catch flights at 4 in the morning or a bus at midnight. I mean, odd things at odd times. He has never let me down. Never. He's always on time. And I find that with that comes, I don't wear a watch at all anymore. We will be in the middle of a place or a conversation, and I'll just say to Guy, I feel it. It's time. And we know we've got to do the next thing or wherever. So to be tuned into that to that extent just opens it up to other levels of intimacy, and also on a bigger level. God once showed me this in a vision. He showed me this huge perspex box with all these cogs. They went so far, my eye couldn't see all of them. It was like this and like this. It was an incredibly intricate, complicated clockwork systems with all these mechanisms. And within it, there was one flat one in the middle of it all, here, in amongst it all. And he said to me, that one there, that's the timing that you work on earth. The rest is the makeup of heaven's time. So we are one small little dimension of this incredible timing and clockwork that goes on in who knows how far it all. So now you're trying to, but actually you're part of this enormous. And I feel the time we're in now, if you can, even in time, in your clock and your timing, let go of the earthly way of feeling things, of experiencing, and realize how much bigger. It's enormous. I just feel you tap into the eternity of God's thoughts and his ways and how he does things and how he thinks, and something different begins to happen. Just as the pulse of his time is different, the pulse of his provision is different. Yeah. So, but all of it stems back to that intimacy. And throughout the book, almost every chapter touches on that it's about obedience, that when God asks you to do something and you're willing to do it, he meets you more than halfway. He just waits for you to be obedient. And then you say, but have I really heard him? Am I really hearing God's voice? Many people say that or think that. The only question to answer is, have I accepted Jesus as my Savior? Because if you have, then John 10 tells you that you hear his voice. John 10 verses 14 and 16 says, I am the shepherd. You are the sheep, and my sheep hear my voice. So if you are his sheep, then the question is yes. The answer to that question is yes, a resounding yes. And everyone hears uniquely. You're not going to hear the same as the other person. I write how I hear, but I hope I said it enough where I say to people, you need to find how you hear, because not everyone hears the same. And don't try and compare yourself to how somebody else hears him, because you hear differently. He speaks to you differently. You experience him differently. Your giftings and your talents are different, so he's going to flow through you in a different way. Yeah, I really hope you enjoyed that excerpt from the book. I've had such amazing feedback about people who have read this book, that it's just been such an encouragement to people in their faith. And so many people face a lot of challenges right now in the circumstance we're in this country. The lockdown and the COVID has affected many people in their businesses, in their livelihoods. Some people's health has been affected, and how people are longing just to hear the Father's voice more and more clearly. And the book is really just a parable of my life and how I learned to hear the Father, be obedient, and bear the fruit of that obedience in an intimate walk with him. So I pray that every person who reads this book will have that encouragement, and may it be an encouragement to each one. So the book is available through our website, revelationsinart.co.za. It's also being distributed by bridalharvest.com, and they're distributing it throughout this country and in Namibia. So get in touch and order your copy. I know that it will be a blessing to you. I also wanted to add that there's a CD in the back of the book, and the CD is 12 tracks of instrumental music that I recorded just as an expression of the Father's heart. And as you listen to that music, may it pull you into that spiritual space where you hear the Father. May your heart be opened to His voice, and may you hear Him, and may the music be a blessing to you. And the music is included in the back of the book.